Hi guys, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing Zombie Ohio, A Tale of the Undead by Scott Kenemore, and listen to the audiobook, which is read by Danny Campbell. Look at this gorgeous cover. It's fantastic. So this is a zombie tale with a twist. Our main character, Peter Miller, is actually a zombie, and he's narrating, and it's really funny and awesome, and I super love this story and where it was going. Also, it takes place in Ohio, where I'm from, so that totally kicks ass also. So when we first meet Peter Miller, he has just had a car accident, he has amnesia, he doesn't remember what's happening, he's very disoriented, he starts trying to piece together what happened, and he manages to make his way back to the college he teaches at. And as he starts finding things like his house based on, his driver's license, he turns on the news and discovers that actually he's in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. And that's probably not the greatest. He also starts to piece together pieces of his own life, like the fact that his house is completely strewn with empty alcohol bottles leads him to conclude that he's probably an alcoholic. Luckily, Peter's best friend, Sam, helps him out a bit at the beginning and gets him to his girlfriend Vanessa's house, and Peter starts to suspect that something may not quite be right with him the longer he goes about, until he eventually discovers that, yes, he is in fact one of the undead. So this book is part zombie apocalypse, it's also part mystery, as Peter discovers that maybe it wasn't a car accident that killed him. And it's really interesting to try to piece together what's happening in this world. And the best part of this is probably the conversational tone. Peter Miller narrates this just like he's telling the story to a person sitting across the room from him, and it's filled with lots of sarcasm and pointing out the absurdity of stuff, and like, hey, I didn't know this at the moment, but like, this is what's actually happening. And I just love it. It's very entertaining, and it's definitely drew me in. I also listened to this audiobook while I was walking through the woods here in Ohio, so that was a nice extra spooky twist for me personally to be like, why am I doing this again? But I know, I love it. There's also this moral factor to it as Peter decides, like, okay, I'm a zombie. All right. What do I do with that now? Like, am I still human? Do I still eat normal food? I can converse. Should I just stay with the people, or should I go hang out with all the zombies? Apparently, Peter's the only zombie that can think and talk and reason still, and he's trying to figure out why that is, but also he knows that there's something different about him from the other zombies, which is definitely an interesting take on a normal, like, zombie apocalypse thing. Within this world, the zombies aren't the only monsters, though. Like, a lot of the people, when left to their own devices, start turning into these very evil versions of themselves that are stealing and looting and pillaging and raping and violence and just really doing whatever the heck they want because there's no law to tell them to stop. And so Peter is trying to avoid humans who might do him harm and try to kill him, but he also kind of has this moral compass still. He doesn't remember exactly why, but he knows that it's wrong to hurt a child or take advantage of a child. And he doesn't quite remember everything about his relationship with his girlfriend Vanessa, but he remembers that he loves her, whatever that means, and that she's important to him. So it's not a typical zombie story, which makes it really awesome too. The audiobook for this with Danny Campbell narrating is great. I love the tone of voice he uses and the inflections. I tried to read part of it as just an ebook, and it was not nearly as fun. I went back to the audiobook really fast. Like, it's okay, it's good. It's a good read without the audio, but the narration is just so perfect for this that if you can listen to it, why wouldn't you? There is some guts and gore in here. It's not particularly gory book, but there are a few scenes where like Peter first tries to figure out how to eat somebody's brain, and he's trying to smash it open with a rock and trying to ram the person into a wall and trying to figure out how to crack that skull, and it does get a little bit gruesome. Um, but there isn't a ton of that, especially considering the fact that it's a zombie book. Um, so it was not a book I was going to read while I was eating or anything, but it didn't gross me out too much. Peter is a pretty likable narrator. A lot of it has to do with the humor and him just trying to, like, not knowing who he is, um, which is cool. There is a surprising lot of diversity in here. Like, Scott Kenemore makes a point to tell you that Sam is dark skinned and that Vanessa is half Chinese and that he runs into a zombie who looks Middle Eastern, like pointing out that this is not all white people, which is cool. It, which is really cool to have that kind of diversity. We also have Sam who's gay, so I'm digging the fact that there is a lot of a diverse cast, even if Peter is like a typical white male, that, you know, he's not just surrounded by other white males. There are also enough twists in here that like you don't know what's going to happen next, what Peter's going to find next as he's wandering the rural countryside, as he runs into humans and zombies and the military. It does kind of beg the question of what you would do if you were in a zombie apocalypse also, as we see, you know, a group that's just trying to protect themselves. We hear about the people who are fleeing to the city where there's relative safety. You have the military trying to like suppress the zombies, and just even the zombies going after people's brains because they're zombies and that's what they do. Peter is definitely the one with the most amount of choices, I think, because he can pass as a human at the beginning, and then he discovers that there's some perks to being a zombie also. Um, like not needing to sleep and not getting tired. So I definitely was surprised and enjoyed this book a lot. So if you want a book about zombies or about like a psychological trying to figure stuff out or mystery, this is definitely a good mix of those things. And it's really funny. Did I tell you guys it was really funny? Because it is really funny. Yeah, I love how Peter will like something will trigger a memory in his mind, and he'll remember like a commercial or parts of a movie, something about a movie, but like he doesn't remember the rest of the movie. It's just fun. It's a fun book, is what it is. I loved Zombie Ohio, and I totally recommend it to you guys if you want to check it out. And yeah, peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.